Thank you, George. Jazz vocalist Crystal Lewis has been hard at work at her new album, Together We Can. The new album continues to explore Crystal's love of jazz and melodic sounds, and it is my pleasure to welcome Crystal to Inside South Florida. Good morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. As a fan of yours, I'm excited to talk to you about not only your career, but about the music that you have given us. You've been in the game for over 3 decades now. I mean, when you hear that, does it amaze you how fast time flies?
Yes, it's the strangest thing, and I'm sure that many people feel this way. It feels like when I hear you say that, I think, well, that can't be right. Is that right? And I realize that it is right. But it also feels like I just started yesterday. It feels like I'm just hitting my stride. It feels like I still have so much to learn. And yet I also absolutely feel like a veteran. That's a nice way of saying old.
Well, listen, you have fans all around the world. You're a 3-time Grammy nominee. In 2019, you dazzled us with your last LP, Rhapsody, which was the foray finally into jazz music. And now you're set to release Together We Can, an album of duets later this spring with some incredible voices. Tell us about this new album.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. I actually just received an email this morning with 7 of the 10 songs mastered, like the final master mixes, which it's weird. Again, having done this for so long, I lost count of how many times I've experienced this, where I like, oh, these are the final mixes. I swear, it never gets old. It makes me like goosebumpy and weepy every single time. It's so exciting. And so for this record, it's very different than anything else I've done, which I know people are like, why do you have to keep doing different things? But
what was that transition like for you? Because normally when people make that transition, it's met with opposition from fans. And also the burning question is, why would you forsake a genre that has given so much to you?
It's been very uphill. It was accompanied, not to get like extra TMI or personal, but like it was in conjunction with a divorce that happened for me. So it was like I was divorcing 2 things. Like I was leaving a marriage, but also I was leaving this familiar path that I'd been traveling and kind of, was well worn. I knew it well. But that's a hard one to explain. And maybe in my next life, I'll have a better answer. I don't know.
You have some incredible voices. Tori Kelly, I mean, come on, Ally Brooke, these are amazing voices. How do you pick and choose what makes the final cut for an album like this?
To be honest, and this is pretty much the way I've worked very consistently over the years, I have not been one of those artists that compiles, and then weeds through, curates, and chooses. I typically write almost just enough for a project. Maybe sometimes there are a couple extras that I decide, to not use, but for the most part, it almost curates itself. That sounds so weird, but like a lot of these artists on this record, Together We Can, I chose, based on my relationship with them, based on the fact that I love their voice. I don't need to be singing with somebody who I'm like, I have to pretend about promoting
True,
it. Like,
true.
I'm sorry, that's just honest. I adore every single person that sings with me on this record. I adore them as humans. I adore them as friends, and in particular as vocalists. So it was easy.
That makes sense. They say it takes a village, and Crystal, the village of voices that you have on this new LP are monumental. The album is Together We Can. The artist is Crystal Lewis. We're cheering you on here from Miami, Crystal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to come visit.